Welcome to BeFiT. I'm Adam Friedman and I'm here with my friend Lauren Pappas, and we're gonna go through the Kettlebell Swing. I'm gonna show you all the basics so that by the end of this video, you're gonna feel confident and for sure that you know how to do the kettlebell at the best possible way that's safe. So we're gonna go through a number of progressions. Now the kettlebell is one of my favorite all-around exercises because it builds strength, power, and stamina for any sport. It gets amazing fat burning, and you're just gonna feel great for better health. So before we get into the swing, I want to just discuss a few basics. You're probably wondering what size kettlebell should I be using. And as females, I would suggest trying two different sizes. Start with a 12 or a 16 kilogram kettlebell, and for men, a 20 or 24 kilogram kettlebell. Now Lauren is going barefoot, so I highly recommend you trying that as well if you're at home. It gives you even more sensitivity and allows your hips to work even better for you. Now, in regards to safety, we might be barefoot, we might be in some thin shoes, so respect the kettlebell at all times. Know that you want to have ample space and you want to have quick feet, because if that kettlebell drops, you want to make sure you don't crush any toes. All right, moving on, I'm going to take you through some exercises that are going to progress you to make sure that your hips are mobile and the right muscles are active. So we're going to start off on our back with a hip bridge, and I'm going to have you lie back, Lauren. And we're gonna get those glutes and those lower abs engaged. So what I want you to do is place your feet about hip distance apart. We're gonna go a little bit closer. There we go, keep going. We're gonna place them about right there. Now those shoes that you took off, we're gonna actually use those as props. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put those shoes right between the knees, and we're gonna crush those shoes. We're gonna make sure that they don't fall out. Now, what you're gonna do now, arms down by the side, head back, and we're gonna do a pelvic tilt. She's gonna roll her tailbone towards her belly button, and as she comes up, she's gonna tighten her glutes and hold for 3, 2, 1, and lower down, come all the way down, touch your tailbone, and roll. Feel each vertebrae lift one at a time. Feel those glutes and those lower abdominals come together so you get a really strong foundation before you do the swing. Okay, come down. We got 3 more. I want you to go really slow. Roll and lift. And don't be afraid to exaggerate that roll from the tailbone up, and come down. And we're gonna take our time before we lift again. I want you to really relax your upper body. So if you feel like your upper body is starting to tighten, I want you to relax that as best you can and really focus on the pelvis, everything below the belly button. So we're gonna slowly roll one vertebrae at a time and lift. Now, if you have tight hip flexors, this will help to open up those hip flexors, because those hip flexors often oppose your glutes. And we don't want anything to get in the way of those glutes getting the best firing we can for that kettlebell swing. And down. Let's just do one more. Good, relax and lift. Pelvic tilt, strong hold. Good, hold. Now that you know that your lower abs are working, your glutes are working, we're gonna come down. Great job, Lauren. How'd that feel? Awesome. So now we got those glutes and those lower abs turned on. We're gonna open up the hips. So we're gonna put the shoes down, and I'm gonna ask you to stand up. And we're gonna do what's called hip prying in a squat position. So I'm gonna have you watch me. I'm gonna stand right over the kettlebell, and we're gonna grab it by the horns on the side. We're gonna stand up with it. Okay, why don't you step right next to me, and put the feet about shoulder distance apart, and keep that kettlebell part of your body. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna sit back. We're gonna push our hips back so that those elbows drop right inside the knees. All right, good job keeping the spine straight as you're doing this. And you're just gonna start to slowly press your elbows out on your knees, really spreading. Now if your toes start to turn out, that's okay. Just let them slide a little bit, but don't let them turn all the way out. So as you drive those knees outward, now we're gonna start to rotate. You're gonna rotate to the right, and then come back. Rotate to the left, and come back. And now what this is doing is really opening up your hips, and keep pushing your elbows out. Spread them out, breathe, and rotate. Good. It's almost like you're pushing the hips out of the socket. Now that's not gonna really happen, but that's just the aim in mind that you're really looking to open up those hips. Let's just do one more to the right, and one more to the left. Great job. Now, we're gonna stand up. Good job. We're gonna hang that kettlebell between our legs, and I want you to stand as tall as you can. Now what this is a standing plank. It's tall tension that we're creating, and this is the position and the feeling that you want to have in your body when you stand up in a kettlebell swing. Now, I want you to keep those hamstrings tight, those glutes tight. I'm just going to be pushing on Lauren, and she has to hold this position. I want you to tighten your lats. Breathe. Tighten those abs. Good, and stay solid. Now push the ground away. Be as tall as you can. Now this is the feeling that you want to have at the top of the swing. So you're starting to get familiar with the progressions and how you should feel. That's how we're doing things. We're breaking it down. I want you to tuck your tailbone under just a little bit more. Hold strong, create that tension. Great job. Now you're going to set it down right between your feet. Breathe and stand up. Excellent job. Now we're going to do an activation exercise for your lats. And why don't we set that kettlebell down. I want you to turn around and show off those lats of yours. All right, so the lats are these big giant muscles in the back, and they come all the way down the spine, and they help to create stabilization. So you want to make sure that you have really active lats when you're doing a kettlebell swing, and a lot of other exercises for your lower body. So I'm going to teach you how to do it on your own, so you make sure that those are active. So I'm going to have you turn around. Did you ever play softball?
Yeah.
Okay, so you ever play shortstop?
Yeah.
All right, so this is the shortstop position, right? You're going to get down into this position here. You're going to push your hands down into your knees. Now notice that your shoulders start to rise up. And what that does is starts to get the traps involved. So we're going to keep those arms straight. So when you keep those arms straight and you push down, see how your elbows are bending? So we want to straighten those elbows out. Now she's got those lats activated. She's using those lats to depress her shoulders and stay engaged. Can you feel your abdominals a little bit? So this is the kind of tension that you want to have, the ability to control your body throughout the entire swing. And relax. I want you to do 5 reps of 2-second holds before you start to do a swing, and that will help to make sure that you're engaged in the right place. Awesome job. Now that we got everything turned on, now we're going to take it to the next step and learning how to progress into that swing with a deadlift. So what I'm going to have you do, Lauren, is step over the kettlebell, just straddle it, and we're going to take on all of those things that we just learned as far as engagement, and we're going to do a deadlift, okay? So let's line that kettlebell up with our heels. So you're going to step forward just a little bit more, and you're going to slide your hands down. You're going to grab that kettlebell behind you and push the ground away to stand up. Keep those lats engaged, tuck your tailbone underneath, and be as tall as you can. Hold that, set it down. And as you come down, try to reach it behind your feet a little bit, and then stand up again, nice and tall, squeeze, and lower down. We're gonna do 3 more, each time reaching a little further back. Now make sure that as you're doing this, that you're keeping your spine straight. You're not rounding at all, and if you are, just stop a little bit below that point, or before you get to that point, before your spine rounds. So you're gonna lower down, keep reaching behind you a little bit. Now hold that position. Now you notice her butt's just a little bit higher than her shoulders. So for a deadlift, we wanna have the hips just a little bit below the shoulders and those lats engaged. And we wanna keep the pressure back on the heels. When she does that, that's gonna help to engage the hips to stand up, okay? Stand up, and stand up a little snappy this time. There you go, good job. So let's do one more and really show me that snap at the top. Lower down, controlled, and stand up with a snap. Boom, excellent job. And that's how you do a deadlift, and that's gonna prepare you for the kettlebell swing. Great job, Lauren. Now for the progression of the kettlebell swing, I'm gonna teach you the first part, which is a hike. And what that looks like is first positioning yourself the right distance, the proper distance from that kettlebell. So what I like to do is just put my arms out, and from there, you wanna say that's where the kettlebell is gonna be, about where your fingertips, that's how you set yourself up. A little different from the deadlift. You're not on top of it, you're actually gonna be behind it. So from here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna squat down and you're gonna reach out for that kettlebell. And you're gonna actually keep it in that place there, about arm's distance away. And then from here, what I want you to do is you're gonna tip the kettlebell You're gonna hold on to it just like that. Now remember that position, that deadlift position right there, good. Butt up a little bit higher, good. Now from there, what you're gonna do is you're gonna hike that kettlebell between your legs and all the way back through your legs and then back down on the ground controlled. So hike with your arms straight and then back down soft. Good. Hike, good, and back down. Good, do 3 more, strong. Good, a little bit stronger each time. Hike, good, just like you're a long snapper in football. Hike, good, good breathing. That breathing that she has is called yang breathing, and that's that powerful breathing that you get that tightens your core. Just do 1 more. Good, excellent job, Lauren. Okay, you can stand up. Shake it out. So in between anything that you do, the kettlebell swing, you want to loosen your body because when you're swinging and you're doing these exercises, you're actually creating tension. But in between, you got to learn to relax. So we like to call this fast and loose. Shake out your arms, shake out your legs. Okay, ready to go to the next exercise. All right, so the next progression, I'm going to demonstrate. So this is called a pendulum. So again, arm distance away. You're going to squat down, you're going to tip it. Now in this position, you're going to hike and you're just going to swing it, just like a pendulum. Now what this is going to do is going to give you that sensation that happens in a kettlebell swing where you have to control your body throughout. So we're going to do 10 pendulum swings, and when you finish, you're going to set it down softly. Okay, so tip the kettlebell to start, and you're going to maintain a quiet body as you hike. Hike and then swing, and swing. And don't set it down in between. You're just going to let it swing back and forth, back and forth. Good, lift your butt up a little bit higher. A little bit higher. Good. Good, keep going. Good, give me 5 more. Good, stabilize your body so it's not moving. 3 more. Good breathing, 2 more. 1 more, and set it down. Whoo. Shake it out, good. Fast and loose between those sets of kettlebell progressions. We're doing excellent, you're doing awesome. We're progressing into the Russian kettlebell swing, and I'll tell you about that in just a minute, but before we do, there's 1 more progression to get to the full swing. You're almost there to graduate. So I'm gonna demonstrate the full swing with a stop in between. Same start, arm distance away. We're gonna tip that kettlebell and you're gonna swing it and you're gonna stand up tall. And then back down, okay? So swing, stand up. Now you notice, I want you to notice that when I come up, that kettlebell is at chest height. And for just a second, it floats. Then I come down. So those arms are active coming down, and it's the hips that are active coming up. So it's a snap of the hips, and then a controlled descent between your legs, and then up again, okay? So let's give that a try. Arms distance away, feet are shoulder distance apart, toes are just slightly turned out. Okay, we're gonna get that strong hike, and you're gonna stand up tall, and you're gonna bring that kettlebell up to my hand. Go ahead, stand up tall, boom, and back down, and then between the legs. Now when you come back down, I want you to bring it all the way back, and then set it down. Hike, up, and back down, there. Good, 2 more. Hike, up, good. A little bit more snappy in those hips. Hips, there you go. Good, 1 more. Okay, pause for a second. You'll notice that when Lauren came up on that last one, her shoulders rose up. And that tends to happen. That means those lats relaxed. But we want to keep those lats engaged so those shoulders don't rise up. So let's do that again. Let's hike, up. There you go, great job. Let's do 1 more so that kettlebell comes all the way back. Good. Again, we're gonna keep going until Lauren gets this because it's so important. Up, all the way back, there you go. 2 more. Good, let's get those hips all the way up tall, all the way up. Great job, and relax. All right, shake it out, shake it out. Whew, we're almost there. Now what we're doing is we're working our way to the infamous Russian kettlebell swing. Now you'll notice, at least I noticed at the gym, there's a lot of people doing kettlebell swings wrong, and it's somewhat painful to watch. And I really want to change that and teach you how to do it right so that you know that you're working the right areas. Remember, this is a hip-driven exercise, so you get that snap in your hips. What happens is, as you notice, that as Lauren was going, her shoulders started to get involved. And that's what's translated into what people see nowadays is the American swing where they're starting to bring their arms up over their head. We're not gonna do an American swing, we're doing the Russian swing, which is at chest level. The American swing, to me, is a little bit more challenging because if you have limited range of motion in your shoulders or in your neck, it could cause some problems down the road. So for safety reasons, stick with the kettlebell swing with the Russians because they're the ones that originated it. All right, so moving on. We're gonna do a kettlebell swing full on. We're gonna do 10 repetitions and I'll demonstrate 10. And what I want you to notice and observe is as I come up, I'm gonna get a snap in my hips each time. All right, 10 reps, swing up and back. And as I'm doing this, I'm keeping my eyes focused on one point. And I'm getting that yang breathing. Inhale down, exhale up. One more. And then softly controlled, put it back down. So get that snap, get that breathing. 10 repetitions, arms distance away. Okay, we're gonna tip it. Now, right now your feet are just a little bit too wide, so let's bring those feet in a little bit. Good job. Okay, let's hike, up, and back, up. Good. Now notice, she's starting to get into that American swing. Okay, you've been here for your whole life, but we're gonna take ourselves to Russia right now. We're gonna go right to your chest, and I want you to use those arms to thrust your arms against your thighs. I'm actually gonna assist you to get that feeling. Now you notice as Lauren's coming down, she's starting to get into a squat instead of the hinge. Ooh, and that's what happens. The deeper you go, you're gonna hit that ground. So let's set it down and we're gonna correct this. And this is really great that Lauren's experiencing this because chances are you're gonna go through the same thing. This is what I see at the gym all the time and this is what I wanna correct you on. This is a hip hinge dominated movement, meaning you're just more bending over at the waist rather than squatting. So this is a hip hinge and this is a squat. Okay, so when you go through that swing, you're actually gonna throw your arms against your legs and push your hips back. Okay, now notice that butt's dropping a little bit. So we wanna keep that butt high. So just boom, and up. Good, thrust those hips forward, tuck, and up, and good. Okay, relax. Good job. Okay, we're gonna do a little exercise to help Lauren really get into that hip hinge. So what I'm gonna do, so just like this, and you're gonna bend forward there, okay? So you can do it here. And this will really force you into a hip hinge. So you're gonna reach your hands down, and that's all you're doing. And come up. Push your butt back, and come up. One more. You feel how your hips are driving backwards? Good, now try to squat with this. See how it's a little harder for you to squat? So that's what we're not doing. We're just going into a hip hinge. Push those butt cheeks back and come up. Okay, does that help a little bit? Okay, so let's give it a try with the full swing. Okay, so put those feet shoulder distance apart, your arms distance away. You're gonna grab that kettlebell, tip it, and I want a strong hike. And up, good, good. And again, and this time make it continuous. Good, right up to here. And let's do 10 in a row. All the way through. And let's not set it down, let's just continue. And up, good. Move away from the squat and just get into the hip hinge. There you go, nice and tall. Good, taller. Inhale, exhale. Good, throw it between your legs. There you go, keep throwing it between your legs. Good, thrust those hips. Good, 2 more. 1 more, and relax. Awesome, good. Last thing, when you get through, remember, respect the kettlebell in that last rep. Instead of setting it down like that, you want to progress and sit it down into a squat position. So I'm going to demonstrate one last one for the viewers. Here, tip, hike, up. And on that last rep, exhale and set it down soft. Okay, that's a wrap. Lauren, you did great. We got a great conditioning workout. You should feel really confident and good about yourself when you take this on. Follow the progressions, make sure that your body's turned on in the right places. I encourage you to do this about 3 to 5 times a week, just so that you get in the rhythm of it and you start to build your stamina and conditioning and your strength. Enjoy, have fun. Thanks for being with us. To learn more, you can go to advancedathletics.com or BeFiT, and see you next time. I'm Adam Friedman.